Hello, my name is Malaika Mfuko, and this is my senior speech. I believe that life can change in a heartbeat, but with empathy, it is always worth living. This recent summer, I got a wake-up call of a lifetime. Nothing in the 17 years that I have been alive on this earth has sparked something in me like this has. It was a hot summer day. I paced back and forth, checking the window every chance I got. I waited for a van to pull into my long, winding driveway. My father was finally coming home from his 3-week trip to Tanzania to bring back my grandmother, who I had not seen in over 2 years since she was diagnosed with breast cancer. As I waited for their arrival, I reflected on the amazing memories I had with my grandmother. Since I was her first grandchild, I was spoiled endlessly with hugs and kisses at every holiday gathering and dinner, while helping her cook exquisite Tanzanian dishes, especially flatbread called chapati. Before I knew it, it was a few hours past since my mother had first drove to the airport to pick them up. A long list of all the reasons they could have been late began to form in my head. But finally, the phone rang. It was my mother. "Malaika, we'll be home soon, just take care of your siblings." The tone of her voice was soft but demanding. She spoke with urgency. I had so many questions, but I knew it was not the right time to ask her. 8 hours later, a set of headlights appeared and pulled into the driveway. My siblings and I were perched on the couch, walking at the window as our parents made their way to the car to the front door. I could not wait to face my dad, mom, and grandmother and welcome them home with open arms. But as the door opened, only 2 people walked through. My mother looked exhausted from driving, while my dad looked even more tired with glazed over eyes that held no emotion. "Dad," my younger sister screamed as she ran toward him for a hug. At this moment, no questions were asked about where my grandmother was, and no explanations were told, but I was more confused than ever. They finally sat us down. Me and my 3 younger siblings looked at my dad with bright eyes as he began to tell us about his trip to Tanzania. I was excited. I always wanted to go. But as my dad began to tell us about his flight back, his eyes began to well up. I had never seen him cry or break down before. He couldn't speak, which led my mother to relay the horrible news to us. My grandmother had passed away on the airplane coming back from Tanzania to the United States. This was the grandmother who would give me big warm hugs that would make me feel as though nothing in the world existed, and had such a calm soul I had never seen her raise her voice at anyone. She originally came to the United States with 3 young boys, and like most immigrants, had the goal of a better life for her family. When she had first arrived, she lived in a cramped apartment with 3 small boys, where she worked 2 jobs to provide for them. All the while, she would invite new Tanzanian immigrants to stay with her when they came to start their new lives in the United States. She was hardworking, compassionate, and humble in every task she faced throughout her life. But when she passed, I only saw her as a role model and someone I could continuously look up to. But her death erupted a new person within me. I began to see the quality traits she always possessed in myself and realized with every little piece of her, there was also inside of me. Her spirit of humility and compassion will always be within me, and my natural urge to help others comes from her. I hope to leave a positive impact on the people around me just as my grandmother had. I learned from her death that life is short, but with empathy we can make life worth living. This I believe.